The Shift, baby. Episode number 78. Nick Earnshaw knows when to chime in now. Nick, I'm going to set you up for this. How you doing, bud?
What's going on, Francisco? Man, we might as well do a football show. I mean, right?
We
I
might
mean,
as
it's been
well.
so football-esque around our parts in the
Oh,
area with
yes.
the Birds winning. You can see my hat, your jersey you're wearing. I mean, what a time to be alive.
I literally, like, Nick, it feels so weird right now. I guess we're, like, not as used to this, but, like, I mean, this
No.
is our third championship of our lifetimes as far as Philadelphia sports go. I almost forgot about certain things. I'm like, baseball, basketball. Oh, I have work. I got to do this, you know?
What's
But
work?
hey, spring training's here. We got to look. The offseason is pretty much over now. Alex Bregman, the last remaining big name, correct, to
Yes.
sign with the team. So we're gonna start the show talking about who had the best offseason, the worst, and who potentially had the most underrated offseason. Your favorite, Sabrina Carpenter. We're going to get into her deluxe album review. Just kidding. I think Nick would hop off the show if he had to do that.
I would
So
spontaneously combust. Like, I would evaporate.
good band, by the way, Combust. Good band. Uh, we got the meat and potatoes, which we are strictly doing spring training because spring training has started. And thank goodness baseball. Like, hey, Nick, where I am, I don't know about you. You're not that far from me. It's in the 50s. I know it's raining outside, but, we're warming up. It means we're getting closer to baseball. That's what I'm talking about,
Well, we're warming up for about a day, and then we're going to get about 10 inches of snow in a couple of days. So,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
there is
exactly.
that. But,
Welcome
yeah,
to
spring
Philly.
training means spring is essentially almost here. Baseball weather. I mean, the crack of the bat, hot dogs. Oh, the smell of a ballpark. There's nothing better, Francisco. We love this time of year. Love this
Yes, we
time
do.
of year. So
Yeah.
it's exciting. I'm thrilled that baseball season's right around the corner, though.
It is. And then we have, we'll talk about MLB top 100, MLB Network's top 100 players, what we thought good and bad about it. There's always the bad, but there's the good too. And, people don't mention the good. So we'll talk about both. We'll end the show with that. So, Nick, let's start with off season. And since, like I'd mentioned, Alex Bregman, the last remaining big name free agent, it was Pete Alonso right before that. He re-signs with the New York Mets. Mets are definitely going to be, a team to watch this year after signing Juan Soto and, and now wrapping up the season by re-signing Pete Alonso. It's definitely, that NL East is going to be really interesting to watch. And I'm sure we'll get into them maybe at some point in this show, but definitely, very near future shows as well. But Nick, as far as the offseason goes, and I'll go first here, we're going to go which team had the best offseason, who had the worst, and then we'll go underrated. So we'll go back and forth here. I'm going to start with the best. And I had a brain fart, Nick, about first 40, I was prepping for the show, just like we both do, probably like an hour before. And I was thinking to myself, okay, who had the best offseason? I was going through the list, a list of teams. And for some reason, I don't know. It's because they had such an egregiously historic offseason after winning the World Series. I didn't think about the Dodgers because I don't know why. I know. Go ahead and rip me, and all the people can rip me too. Go ahead. That's what you do. If everyone rip me for the Mahomes thing, you can rip me for this too. I don't know. I just had a brain fart. I was just like, oh my gosh, the Dodgers had such like a historical offseason. I guess I was like trying so hard to think about maybe other teams that, just had very good off seasons and had potential that maybe in another offseason could have been that team. But Nick, it's obviously the Dodgers. I don't think there's too much I have to say. You sign two-time Cy Young Award Blake Snell, two-time Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell, and then you obviously also get Hiroki Sasaki, who is the number one prospect in baseball this year, has the potential to be one of the best pitchers in baseball within the next couple of years. Resign Teoscar Hernandez, go out and get Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates to add to your bullpen that's already pretty filthy. I mean, it's so filthy that they were just like, we'll DFA Ryan Brazier, who's been pretty nasty for them, within the last couple of years. And all of a sudden, they're still here, and they're the LA Dodgers. And I mean, they have potentially the deepest rotation of all time, I would say. I mean, it's not just like there's rotations obviously that in the past that are maybe are deep, but this is deep, and they're all deep with guys that could all be 1 and 2s on any other team. You go from Yamamoto, you go to Snell, obviously 2-time Cy Young Award winner, Tyler Glass now, who still looking to see if he can stay healthy, but still, was, when he is healthy, he is one of the better pitchers in baseball. Then you just have Sasaki, who's, looks like he's the future of the sport along with Paul Skeens. Tony Gonsolin, before he went down, within the last couple of years, was very good, was right up there with Kershaw and Gonsolin, and whomever else. And then there's Dustin May, who's also there, who's had a ton of potential and unfortunately has dealt with the injuries the last couple of years. And then, by the way, Shohei Ohtani, who I don't know when he's going to, I forget when they said he would come back at what point this year. He's supposed to throw against simulated, whatever you want to call it, soon. He's not going to, I don't think he's going to.
Simulated games, essentially.
Yeah, simulated games, sorry. But then there's Ohtani, who it's like, if he wins the Cy Young Award, he might just be the best player of all time already. I don't even know if there'd be an argument. I don't even know. But maybe I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself there. But Nick, you get the point. Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's obviously the Dodgers. I mean, you win a World Series and then you make yourself that much better. Really, I mean, just a clinic what they did the last 3 to 4 months. It's pretty incredible. So I know you agree with me. Do you have anything to add to the best team that had the best offseason?
I will just add, you were probably wearing your Arizona Diamondbacks jersey when you were making this list, and you were coming out with
NL West, right.
That's why you forgot. You forgot about the Dodgers. That's probably why. So I mean, you were clouded by your Diamondbacks fandom. Right. So that's why I think you forgot the Dodgers. By the way,
I haven't worn that jersey in months
since then.
So
like 2 years now. I'm just kidding. No, I mean you hit the nail on the head. I mean they go out, they sign. I mean top end starters. I mean, remember when we were going through the World Series throughout the year, it's like, is their pitching going to be enough? They're not that healthy. Like, are they going to be okay? The starting rotation, we know their bullpen's pretty good. Obviously, the offense is amazing, but they go out and sign like Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki. I mean, ridiculous. They re-signed Clayton Kershaw, keep a franchise icon in him, right?
And that's more depth in their rotation too. I didn't even mention
exactly. So like that's another guy. They re-sign guys like Teoscar Hernandez. They go out, Tommy Edman as well, versatility right there. They go out and sign.
And they re-signed Kike, right?
Yeah, signed Kike as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I mean, they had a massive, massive offseason. Even coming off of a World Series, they somehow got even stronger and even better. So, it's ridiculous the amount of money that they are spending and the amount of talent that they do have. They have somehow made that bullpen better, too. So, yeah, I mean, it's not, you can't pick any other team than the Los Angeles Dodgers who had the best offseason. They made their starting rotation better. They got better in the bullpen, and somehow they re-signed everybody on the offensive side. So, yeah, I mean, there's no other team really that comes close to that because they came off a World Series win and they somehow enhanced their roster even more heading into this season. So you hit the nail on the head. I don't know how you forgot it. Like I said, you probably had the jersey on, and that's why you were clouded. The Dodgers definitely far and away had the best offseason in Major League Baseball, and it wasn't even close.
Well, so I'll say one thing real quick. So the two hiccups that I've had in my life the last couple of years, I will admit the Randy Johnson jersey thing was a hiccup. Both of those times I worked an overnight. And when you work an overnight, you've worked overnights in the past. Hey, yep. Maybe you're not thinking as clearly because you almost kind of feel like you're out of body a little bit. It's a clouded judgment is all I'm saying. Clearly. So, Johnson jersey, Dodgers, NL West. It's NL West that's haunting me. I think that's really what it is. They're out to get me.
Yeah, you don't want to
Padres, because they're gonna get me. You know what I mean? What's gonna happen? The Rockies, I don't know how to make good trades.
It's got to be one of the teams. They keep getting you. They keep sneaking up on.
It's somebody who's coming after me next. Peter Seidler, you're gonna try to get me. Okay, all right. So, worst team, Nick. Again, I will go here, and you could tell me. I have a feeling we're on the same page again. Because I know how upset you are that your team, it's not the Phillies, because you have like 10 teams. It's okay. My issue here is that what you had look at it's the Baltimore Orioles. They had the worst offseason. They are a team that, the last couple of years, they were supposed to be taking that next step. And a couple of years ago, right, it was 100 wins. Then he lost to the Rangers, who were the eventual World Series champions. Fine. Like, it's okay. But last year, you only won, 91 games. And who they lose to in the playoffs, I don't even remember. Do you remember who they lost to? I can't even think right now. They lost in the wild card, right? Lost in the wild card. I cannot, it's not coming to mind right now. Maybe it was the Guardians. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like they lost in the playoffs. And you had Corbin Burns, who's one of the best pitchers in baseball, didn't re-sign him. Like, whatever. Okay. Had a chance maybe to sign Blake Snell. You could have added to your bullpen. Felix Bautista, I don't know when he's supposed to come back, but
he's going to miss big chunks.
Yeah, he's still going to miss time.
Yep.
So look, I'm fine with their offense. Still kind of young. I still would have liked to have seen they did add Tyler O'Neill, but maybe I would have liked to see them potentially sign another bat. Lost Cedric Mullins, but really more about like their rotation in their bullpen. There's guys out there, and it's not like they're like extremely, extremely expensive. You could have gone out and got guys like Blake Snell, could have re-signed Corbin Burns. I know he did sign for a lot in Arizona, but you're a team that's trying to compete for a World Series at this point. Like, I know you're still young, your core's still young, but man, you got to capitalize. Just won 100 games a couple of years ago. You're in the DS, like it was DS or wild card, whichever one it was, doesn't matter. Like they're good enough to go win, and you had a chance, man. And I don't know. It felt like a couple of years ago the Orioles weren't willing to make moves at the deadline. They didn't. It was like, okay, but they still have time here. I don't know, man. I guess they still have time, but like I'm looking at their rotation, and Eflin's supposed to be your ace according to Fangraphs, and Eflin kind of underrated, but still is your ace for a team that's trying to go win a World Series. Don't know why you signed Charlie Morton. Like I would have liked Morton as a signing maybe 3-4 years ago, but not at this point at 41. Grayson Rodriguez, want to see him, obviously. I think the whole baseball world wants to see him, really take the ball this year and be one of the, right there with Skeens, and potentially we'll see with Sasaki. But like, I don't know, Nick, the Orioles for me, if you don't have the Orioles as your worst, I would still like to hear your opinion on this. But give me your worst team. And also, if not, what do you think about the Orioles as well?
Yeah, I'll start with the Orioles. You know me, I love those Orioles down there in Baltimore. Love the young O's. But I wouldn't call them the worst offseason. I would say they had the most disappointing, not the worst.
Yeah.
You would have liked to see them add to that rotation, add to that bullpen. They failed to do that. They just did not get better. They got worse. So you need to capitalize on that young talent you have. You have a great roster, but the pitching is going to hurt them badly. And we've seen that happen already in the postseason. And we've seen them lose games because of it. So I'm with you. I think it's the most disappointing. I wouldn't say it's the worst offseason out of everybody in Major League Baseball. I just think they have failed to execute on signing big-time free agents. They have new ownership. That's another aspect of this. They have money. They have new ownership. They have money to spend. I don't know what they're doing. They could have been in the mix for some of these guys, high-profile names out there, and they just weren't. Like Blake Snell's a great name. Like, why don't you try and go get a guy like that? You let him go to the Dodgers. So it is what it is. Everyone just goes to the Dodgers anyway. So that's that. But yeah, no creativity this offseason by the Orioles. No like big time trades. Make a move to get a big time starter because you're losing Burns. You're gonna need those young pitchers to step up like a Rodriguez. That's just how it's gotta happen, man. So we'll see with the O's. But I think this team, I just don't get it. This is who had the worst offseason to me. It's the Miami Marlins. I don't know what this organization's doing at all. They were a playoff team 2 years ago. They got into the wild card. They snuck in. They had some pieces, and they're just unloading again. Like they're a confusing organization. They continue to be a bottom of the barrel type of baseball team. They trade Jake Berger to start the offseason. They trade Jesus Luzardo to the Philadelphia to a division rival.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. But if you're the Miami Marlins, you have, according to MLB.com, their lineup, which is projected, you only have 2 players who hit more than 10 home runs last year. They have no power, no experience. They have pitchers who they're hoping can come back off of injury. Alcantara, Yuri Perez as well. They're all coming off injuries. I mean, I just don't know. They got rid of Luzardo. They got rid of everybody starting at the deadline last year, and they continue to do the same thing in the offseason. I just don't understand the direction this team ever takes. They start building up, they get young talent, and then they just trade it all away. I've never seen anything like it. They're a poverty organization, and this offseason, they continue to do the same thing they've always done, just trade good players away.
Yeah. All right. I don't still disagree with you. I guess I just didn't. Again, like the Marlins are such like a. I guess they're not like an organization I'm looking at to really make any noise. I agree with you. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you.
You have to. I mean, White Sox could be in there as well. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're just scratching your head as to what some of these moves are doing. Like, they're not making moves to build a foundation. I'm just confused by what Miami's doing.
I mean, Miami's been doing this for a while now. Yeah, Orion.
So that's why I have them the worst. That's why I have them at the worst. I can't give it to the Baltimore Orioles. They were disappointing. The Miami Marlins. We're talking worse. We got to go with a poverty organization like the Marlins.
Yeah, I understand that. That's definitely fair. I just think the Orioles had a chance to like really jump on the AL East this year, right? Like, and I know maybe the Yankees lose Juan Soto, and I think the Yankees. You could talk about it. We'll see who you have underrated, but maybe they are potential somebody that could have had the most underrated. But like I still think like the Orioles had a chance this year to like really jump on, the AL East and really take that thing under control and try to go take the American League and then sign a couple of big names, man. So all right, give me your underrated.
Yeah, I mean this is a team that lost Juan Soto. It's the New York Yankees.
Okay.
You could have put them at the best. I mean, you could have. The Dodgers were just insane. They just had an insane offseason. You can't put anyone else there. So I'll go with the New York Yankees. They had a very, very good offseason. I feel like they're not being talked about enough of how good of an offseason they had. And I hate to say that. And me and New York don't get along very well. So I mean, you look at some of the moves. They signed Max Fried, trade for Devin Williams. They get Cody Bellinger, Paul Goldschmidt. A little aging, but it's a nice move for them, right? They have guys like Jazz Chisholm. So he's going to move to, I believe, second base because Gleyber Torres, moved over.
Detroit.
Yep. So he got moved. So yeah, I like Jazz Chisholm moving to second. They have pieces. I love what they did with their pitching staff, though. Getting Max Fried and Devin Williams, that's massive. And then getting veteran guys and Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt, I think they definitely made up for losing Soto because Soto was the heart and soul of that team last year. Him and Aaron Judge through the regular season, Soto through the postseason was the heart and soul of that team. I thought the Yankees had a very, very nice offseason. You lose one of the best players in baseball to your crosstown rival. I thought they did enough to keep themselves in the mix and relevant for next year. And, getting guys like Bellinger, Goldschmidt, Williams, Fried, that's a core that you can live with after losing a guy like that.
Yeah, so I definitely respect another fair point by you. This is definitely a rare day for the shift. We are, moving in a different direction because you are making fair points. I don't think Earnshaw does that. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding on you making a fair point. I'm just kidding about that. But I'm actually going to stay in the division, and I think people had mixed opinions on the Bregman signing. I actually think the Red Sox have the potential to maybe win this division. I think there is potential there. And I know there is a bit that has to, like, you're looking at it like, oh, that has to go right. Like Trevor Story in that lineup. We haven't seen Trevor Story in a few years. But I think there's potential now that you added Bregman. Jarren Duran had a monster season last year. You just got guys like Judge and Bobby Witt and Ohtani who are, Gunnar and all these guys that are having huge seasons where, you're not talking about somebody like Jarren Duran, but Jarren Duran had a monster year. Jarren Duran's going to be, a problem for years to come there in the AL East. Jarren Duran, Devers, we know how Rafael Devers is. Bregman, do I think he's the cheater that he was 5 years ago when he hit 41 home runs? Not necessarily, but he's still a productive second baseman at age 30. They gave him a 3-year contract. I like it. Tristan Casas, it's a Casas. I forget how to really pronounce it. There's some interesting stuff there in the middle of the lineup with Yoshida, Casas, Story, Willie Abreu. There's some interesting stuff there. But if it goes right, that's a pretty good top 6 in your lineup, right? And then their rotation. I like their rotation a lot. You traded for Crochet, Houck, disgusting. He sailed from the right side. Brian Bayo, good pitcher. Walker Buehler, very interesting to see what he's going to do. Giolito, can he come back from injury and be what he was for Chicago all those years ago? Cutter Crawford, good pitcher. I think they're a deep rotation again. And again, Dodgers and Phillies too have a really good rotation. Maybe we're not talking to the Red Sox rotation enough. But they have a really good potential rotation. The bullpen, Liam Hendricks, one of the feel-good stories in the last couple of years of baseball, coming back from the cancer and whatnot. But Chapman, their bullpen is something to really watch this year. That could be like an X factor for them. But I just think there's potential here with the Red Sox. And again, Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell, they are still able to retain these guys, even going to get Crochet. They're the future of their franchise. I like the way that the Red Sox are kind of set up a little bit. I know maybe there's some fans out there that don't love it. I think that, which is why I think it's underrated. I think I think they're a good pick for the playoffs. AL East, there's potential there. I'd say the Red Sox are underrated, man.
I like that. I actually like that point.
Look at you,
Francisco. I actually do. Yeah, I mean, they go out, they sign, they get Crochet, they trade for him, they sign Walker Buehler. You bring up Chapman. They also signed Justin Wilson too to their bullpen, so that was another good signing by them. So and then you look at their young pieces. You brought up Roman Anthony, you brought up Campbell, Marcelo Mayer. He could be up. So you're counting on the young players to develop and come up and make an impact. But you also have a nice couple of foundation pieces with veterans like Chapman, like a Walker Buehler, like a Crochet, Bregman now coming into the mix. I like the mix that the Red Sox are building up there. I don't know if it's division winning type of roster yet. I think there's still some question marks on how much are those young guys ready? Are they there yet? So maybe wild card. I'll give them wild card possibility. Especially by adding Bregman and Crochet to kind of give a little bit of star power to this Red Sox team. But if those young players, they got a shot. If they develop quicker than you expect, they could be a sneaky team heading into next year. I don't know about a division. I think the Yankees still look really good. It's going to be a trying year for the Toronto Blue Jays. Can they figure it out? They got Vlad Guerrero scenarios going on right now, Bo Bichette, like all that stuff. With the Blue Jays, I still think they're a good roster. They never feel like they can figure it out. But the Red Sox, they'll be in the mix for sure in the postseason run.
Okay. All right. Glad we agree again. Look at this. Look at this developing story here at the Shift. Nick and Fran agreeing. And now we head in the meat potatoes, Nick. And for lunch, we know how we do. I had leftover Chinese that actually my family had. I didn't get it with them, but we got Red Robin yesterday. We went to Dick's Sporting Goods as well. Looked at a lot of the Eagles celebration. All that Super Bowl. I'm holding off right now. I want to make sure because there's a lot of things I want that I didn't see. So, I didn't want to buy things in the moment just because I want something. But anyway,
I bought the whole store. I
know you did. I know you did.
The night of.
Yeah, I know. I'm jealous. I should have went out the night of too, but I was working, so unfortunately. But still, meat potatoes though. Nick, what have you had for breakfast? What'd you have for lunch? Did you not have one of those?
Didn't have lunch.
Okay.
Didn't have lunch. My roommate and I went to the diner. It's absolutely fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, shout out to Sean.
Yeah. Shout out Sean.
Yankees fan.
And not a Yankees fan. Yeah, he's gonna kill you next time. He's gonna knock you out. Calling him a Yankees fan. That's disrespectful, by the way.
Yeah. Good.
So I he's listening. He's in the other room. He's listening.
Can he hear me?
He's like they could have 2 parades. I don't know if he can hear you, but he hears me responding to you. Your nonsense. He knows. He's a long-time listener to the show, by the way.
That's good.
Long-time listener. By the way, I do want to give a shout out. I got to meet Phillies writer, NFL writer Jeff Kerr when I was in New Orleans.
Good guy.
Big shift listener, by the way. Shift listener.
Oh, yes. I didn't know that.
So,
Jeff's a good guy.
Yeah. Very good guy. I got to meet him. He's a big fan of the Shift, and I guess he had some nice things to say about you too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, we bonded at the last Phillies game I saw.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good guy. Very good guy.
But yeah, I had pancakes, had the bacon, had toast, all of it. Yeah, had
Look
the
at
whole
that.
nine.
Yeah.
Had the whole nine.
All right, well, real
That's
quick
all
before we get into it, what was your? So you were down in New Orleans for Radio Row.
I was.
What was the best? What was the best food you had down there?
Oh, fried gator, by far.
Really?
Fried gator. Yeah. By the way,
What did it
we
look like?
got a chance to interview Jason Worth too. By the way.
Oh, really? Oh, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah,
That's sick.
yeah. We got a chance.
You were too busy interviewing like Hall of Famers and stuff. So you're like, no disrespect to Jason Worth, but yeah, but that
he came on. He was promoting. He's big into horse racing now.
Oh, right.
About that. Yeah.
Oh, so he was on 97.3.
Yes,
because I saw you were doing a lot of like stuff on your phone.
Yeah, he was on 97.3. Got him all set up. Yeah, so
who's the biggest name that you interviewed?
Oh man
on the street and that.
Just okay.
Street, you know what I
mean? We did have Emmett Smith on.
Pretty big.
Pretty big name. We had. I got a chance to interview John Gruden, so that's
another big one.
Yeah, John Gruden, Matt Hasselbeck. I got to interview.
Yeah, you said did you interview Sean Alexander? Or you just took pictures?
I didn't interview him, but like I set him up for the interview. Yeah.
Hey man.
So, Ronnie McLeod, got to see him again. That was pretty cool. Malcolm.
You've interviewed him before, right?
Yeah, he remembered. So
that's
was
awesome.
Cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Catching up. Catching up with him. That was awesome. Yeah, it was a who's who down there. But yes, baseball related, we did have Jason Worth on. That was pretty fun. Yeah,
that is really cool.
It was a good trip.
All right, Nick. So we are. That's really awesome. I'm glad you had a good time down there, and even better that the Birds won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So
better.
Yes, sir. So spring training storylines. Nick, we got a lot to talk about here. It's mid-February. We're going to get into it. All spring training storylines. We're going to start with things we're looking forward to seeing. We'll go through three things. Then we'll get into three prospects we're looking forward to watching. And then we'll wrap up the spring training here, the meat and potatoes. And we'll do predicting takes we'll have after spring training is over. And we'll do each of those. So we're going to get into, that's 8 takes altogether. Be ready. That's 16 takes. That's a lot of takes. So we'll kind of do a little, kind of sort of rapid fire. A little rapid fire. Not too fast, but fast. So, all right, Nick, give me, I guess we'll go one for one here. Give me one thing you're looking forward to seeing spring training.
Okay. This is an overall Major League Baseball thing. I am very much looking forward to the baseball jerseys being back to normal and not little print. I can't even see the name. I can't see the number. The jerseys were an absolute disgrace. Another great job by Rob Manfred there. What an absolute disaster that was last year. You couldn't even see the names, all that terrible stuff. You can actually read last names now and see what numbers guys are. So I'm looking forward to seeing normal jerseys back by Fanatics and Nike, whatever, on the back of everybody's jersey. Normal names. Hopefully you can't see the sweat stains anymore from like the New York Yankees. I mean, what a disgrace. So that is the number one thing I am looking forward to seeing is normal baseball uniforms and jerseys.
I like it. And that's an underrated one, by the way. It's an underrated one. I definitely agree with you. All right, my first one is ABS, the automatic ball strike challenge system. We're going to see that this spring, right? So we're going to see that again. I mean, we didn't even talk about this. I don't think we've done a show since who's the ump that just got canned for betting?
Gosh, yeah.
Pat something Honig? What's his name?
Yeah.
Forget his name. But he who must not be named. Yeah, but he just got canned for
Pat Hoberg.
I don't think he was Pat Hoberg. Thank you. And I don't even think he was betting on baseball, right? It was his buddy or something like that.
Buddy's account. Yeah, it was sketchy, but it was a little bit of a reach. But I mean, hey, you got to be careful if you're an umpire, right? Like 100%. That's the integrity of the game. Have to watch out for that stuff. And we should just eliminate the refs anyway from any sport. Have the computer do it. I'm so done.
Computer bots.
I'm so sick of refs and umpires.
Robot face for sports.
Please, honestly, bring what's his name, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bring the Terminator in to be an umpire. I can't take these umpires anymore.
That would be wild.
And the refs, they just get things wrong at such a high rate. It's ridiculous. It's such big moments, Francisco.
Yeah,
moments are huge. You can't be getting stuff wrong.
I agree. Hey, but I'm really interested to see how the ABS system works out in spring training. just interested to see how it looks because I know it's been used in the minors, right? But like I
Yes.
haven't really got a chance to watch that. So I'm interested to see how it looks, for these players. How do they react? How does it look? All that stuff. So really interested in that. All right, give me your next one.
All right, my next one is Shohei Ohtani pitching again. I mean, it's good for the game. As much as I hate to see it on the Dodgers, I mean, having him pitch again to show off how great he is. I don't think you're overstepping earlier in the show. Get him back on the mound, man. He's dominating Cy Young level type of performances. I mean, we got to soak it in while we can. So getting him back on the mound, even if it's just, ramping up, that is good for baseball. I'm looking forward to seeing Shohei pitching again. I just as a baseball fan, as an aficionado, Francisco, as you and I are, seeing Shohei back on the bump, that'll be cool.
Well, I'll give you my second and third ones real quick, just because
Okay.
my third one was going to be Ohtani. I'll just tie it in real quick.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he's necessarily going to pitch this spring. I know he's just doing
No,
sessions.
that's what I mean. Just seeing him ramp up.
Exactly, agreed. So not even worrying about spring training games, just being able to go on Twitter and see, him on, doing these bullpen sessions.
They'll have the Fox logo in the corner. Shohei's coming up 3 batters away.
I love the bit. I do appreciate that.
3 innings away. He's going to have a bullpen session.
Right. Yeah. It's freaking awesome. Yeah. But I mean, it's obvious. Just seeing Ohtani back on the mound, it would be really incredible if he were able to win and not even this year. I don't think he would. I don't think he probably have enough innings, just like Paul Skeens didn't have enough to win Rookie of the Year. But it would.
Yeah,
by the way, he's adding other pitches to his arsenal. That's insane.
Sneak it in there, Rob.
Honestly, that's not even a part of my 3 things to watch, but that should be is Skeens adding pitches. But all right, so Ohtani, obviously we agree there. Third one is, hey, Hetty grew his hair back out a little bit. Maybe Jacob deGrom is going to be back, and he could potentially be the newer Chris Sale because Chris Sale hasn't been able to stay healthy the last 6 years. DeGrom hasn't been able to stay healthy over the last 4 or 5 years. Maybe DeGrom could come back, and look, we're Phillies fans, Nick. So watching him in the AL West, it's okay. Go DeGrom, go ahead, go do your thing. Here, and when he was in New York, it was all right, till now, bud. I'm not trying to see you mow down our entire lineup. Whenever we play you and you're pitching, but go do your thing with Texas. I mean, DeGrom, seeing him back on the mound, that's almost exciting as me for seeing Ohtani in those bullpen sessions. I'm a big DeGrom guy. I would like to see him. I mean, I think he's great for the game, obviously. I think a lot of us nerd out when we watch him pitch. His fastball slider combination, just absolutely one of the best we've ever seen. I mean, DeGrom, if he could come back and just be good, I think it would just be good for the game. Would be great to see. So seeing DeGrom, come back, and I think he come back and be 100% potentially. I think there's a lot of excitement there around DeGrom.
Yeah, that's a good one. I hope he can stay healthy. He can stay healthy. That'll be awesome if he's able to come back, make a Chris Sale type of comeback. I think that would be just amazing to see. But I actually changed the third one. I made it. I bended the rules a little bit for Rojas here. Okay.
Okay.
There's something I'm not looking forward to. It's seeing Juan Soto in a New York Mets uniform. I know he arrived just recently. I saw the walk-in. Seeing him in that stupid orange and blue. Oh, it makes me sick. In the NL East again, we got to see this guy. So that's something I'm really not looking forward to is Juan Soto in a Mets uniform. Just that gross color. It's like the color of throw up when you mix stuff together. It's just disgusting. So Juan Soto in a Mets uniform. I'm out. I'm not looking forward to that.
So you're not looking forward to it. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I think a lot of Mets fans are looking forward to it. I don't think a lot of Yankees fans. I wonder if Yankees fans have calmed down about it.
I actually feel for them a little bit, and that's coming from my heart. I feel bad for the Yankees.
Yeah, it's all Sean that. Yeah.
I will.
Totally Yankees fan. All right, Nick. 3 prospects we're looking forward to watching. I'm gonna get the obvious one out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying Roki Sasaki. It's obvious. I'm looking forward to seeing that reverse splitter that he throws. I'm looking forward to seeing what the hype's all about. Looking to see him, throw against major league hitters. Was supposed to be, he's 21, 22, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Sasaki is, I think we're all obviously watching, and we're all obviously watching the Dodgers, but Roki Sasaki, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that he was going to at least be one of ours here. And for me, it was Roki Sasaki. Sasaki is the first prospect that I'm looking forward to watching. Give me one.
All right, I'm going to go with Kumar Rocker. I'm excited to see Kumar Rocker and see what he's able to do. He may not start the year with the Rangers in the rotation, but I think he'll get up to the big leagues. Listen, he's had a lot of injury problems, right? He had the 2023 Tommy John surgery. Last year, he was in AA, AAA, as well as in the majors for a little bit. Had a 1.74 ERA, 61 Ks, 41 and a thirds innings. I'm looking forward to see Kumar Rocker. That guy is dominant. That slider he's got, 66% whiff rate across all the levels of AA, AAA, and the majors. It's that guy. If he could put it together and stay healthy, that was the whole thing. Him coming out of college, can he stay healthy? People and teams were worried about him staying healthy. That guy could be an absolute rock star. If he could put it all together, stay healthy, stay on the mound, stay consistent. Kumar Rocker is a guy I think people should, not forget about heading into next year. So Rocker with the Rangers, he might rock it next year.
I like that. I like that pick. I'm gonna go, and I just because I like the potential of a young Pirates rotation. I'm gonna go Bubba Chandler. He is the 15th ranked prospect according to MLB.com right now. Has supposed to be as a nasty slider. It's a 70 grade fastball. And and you know this in terms of prospect ratings, as far as the rating system goes, is the I'm saying that correctly, right? The rating system, like 50, I think is average, and 70 is like disgusting. I think 80 is like maybe I don't know what the highest you can get is, but 80 is usually like oh my god. But 70 is really good. So he has a really good fastball, and I think if it says his ETA is this year. I don't know if that, but we're just talking about spring training.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to look like in the spring if he makes the team. I mean, just that's the future of the NL Central as far as pitchers go is Skeens, Jared Jones, and potentially Bubba Chandler there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Bubba Chandler.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll give you one right now. He's played in the majors for 2 years, but got hurt. Jason Dominguez, the Martian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, doesn't it feel like a little bit like, all right, this is it for him? Like he's got to put something together this year. Like it feels
he's
like
only
that.
22, though.
But he's 22. That's right. That was my point. Like he's 22 years old, and like I feel like we forget that. Like he's still so young and still has a lot of time in front of him to figure this thing out. Wasn't very good last year when he came back, batted $179. But remember, this is a guy who homered of Justin Verlander in his first career at bat.
Yep.
So this is somebody. Listen, I think he still has a ceiling. He is not even close to hitting yet. I think he will get there. It's not a make or break year. It just feels like that because he's been talked about for so long and so many years.
Of course,
22 years old. Give the kid a break. I'm very much looking forward to see if he can turn into that full-time player the Yankees are hoping, and that Martian, Mickey Mantle, Mike Trout level player that everyone was hoping he would. So it's a big year for Dominguez, but I think he's going to come around. He's just got to stay healthy. That's the point. I mean, he's another guy coming off Tommy John surgery. Not a pitcher, obviously, but another guy who has battled injuries. And can he put it together and stay on the field?
Okay, like that pick a lot. I was thinking about that, but I'm gonna go Jack Caglione from the Royals. Somebody at in Florida was a two-way player, but he's not going to be a two-way player anymore. He's really more focused on hitting. But I mean, dude, have you seen his swing? Have you seen his power? How he connects with the ball? It's pretty insane. According to MLB.com, his ETA is until next year, but I'm still just excited to watch him get some work here in the spring. I mean, I guess he would still be. You'd still be able to see him in the spring, right? Still get some at bats, or am I wrong on that?
I don't know.
Because Aiden Miller, I think he might get some for the Phillies. Maybe I'm off on this one.
He might.
But if he does get a chance, I'll say this, and maybe this will work. If he does get a chance, I'm excited to watch. I think there is some chances there that he might. I think he'll probably at least. He was probably at least invited to camp. I would assume,
Yeah,
right?
I'd assume.
Yeah, I would assume so. I mean, he's he's in the top 25 as far as prospects go. At least MLB Pipelines prospects. So
Yep.
Caglione, I think he's somebody I'm really excited to watch. If depending on how much time he gets here in the spring, but Caglione is someone I'm really looking forward to. Did you give me 2 or 3?
I give you 2. I got one more for you.
All right, give me one more.
I mean, how can you not pick Andrew Painter? How can you not pick Andrew Painter? Listen, he's the number 1 prospect in the Phillies farm, number 8 prospect in Major League Baseball, according to the Major League Baseball MLB pipeline. He's another guy got hurt. I picked a lot of guys who got hurt because it's a big year for them, coming off these Tommy John surgeries. So I'm curious to see how the Phillies utilize him. I'm sure he'll be on an innings limit. They're going to watch and monitor him. He's not going to start in the bigs right away. Listen, they have a stacked rotation. So mid-season, somebody maybe gets hurt. That's when I see Painter come. During spring training, I think you're going to get a long look to see where he's at physically, mentally on the bump. So I'm looking forward to Andrew Painter. And later on in the season, I'm curious to see how the Phillies use him because, number 1, they could just use him in a bullpen role and just get him in, use him as that long reliever, right? Big outs and give him some shine there if they need to, if their rotation stays healthy, right? So I could see that happening. I also could see him coming up if there is an injury. Somebody were to go down, get hurt, they're going to need someone to fill that role. Why not put the kid in? So we'll see how healthy he is. Andrew Painter, big year for him. I think the Phillies expect a lot, and I think they're going to give him a shot at some point during the season.
Okay, I like it. I like the pick a lot. And I think the Phillies' whole plan is supposed to be that he is supposed to be, ramping up innings, and then they would, I think late summer they would call him up. So
yeah, that's what it seems like.
Role. Yeah, you mentioned. So all right, I like it. All right, let's have some fun here to end the spring training meat and potatoes. Nick, start me off here. Predict a few takes. We'll go 2 each here, but give me one first. Give me a take that we are going to have once spring training is over and we're ready for opening day.
Okay. My first take. Hating on New York again. The Mets will be under 500 after the first month. They're going to get off to a rocky start. I don't trust their pitching yet. They're going to give up a lot of runs in a few games. I think they're going to be it might be 1 or 2 games. They're going to be just under 500 after 1 month in the season. That's going to be my take. I'm going to stick through it after spring training. That's what's going to happen.
So you're going to predict before opening day starts. You're predicting that's what's going to happen for the Mets.
Absolutely.
Wow. I think I'm honestly, I think you're just a hater.
I don't think so. That pitching staff, you gotta look at that pitching staff.
You're right. I don't disagree.
Concerns. There's concerns. Off to a slow start, I could see it happening.
And I don't think a lot of the baseball world is overreacting to the Soto signing. I think a lot of people are looking at the team being just because they signed Soto doesn't mean. Hey, when the Phillies signed Bryce Harper in 2019,
took him a few years.
A lot of people look. I have at least me, Nick. I'm not trying to flex or anything. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're trying to flex.
Yeah, I'm flexing.
Say you're trying to flex.
Maybe I was trying to flex, but I looked at the overall team and I was like, bullpen rotation, it's a question mark there. And they were 500 that year, I believe. So, just saying, it could be the same thing you'll see with the Mets, but there's potential there though too. All right, my prediction here, and this is kind of going back to where I was here with who had the most underrated offseason with the Red Sox. I think by the end of spring training, we're going to be looking at, we're going to see a rotation with Crochet and Houck and all of them. And they're going to be looking nasty in the spring. You're going to see, Devers and Bregman hitting balls out of the ballpark. Jaron Duran doing cartwheels around the bases and I should have been MVP last year. All that. We're going to see Chapman throwing 109. Maybe Liam Hendricks back a little bit. And we're going to be saying Red Sox could definitely be a playoff team. And maybe there's a potential they could steal the AL East from the Yankees. I think that's the take.
All right.
From me. And this is obviously going back to the beginning of the show. But, I had to connect the dots there.
There you
know
go.
what I'm saying? So I do.
Way to come full circle for you.
That's what I do.
I'm happy.
I'm a full circle guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm sure you are. I'm sure.
Yeah. All right. Give me your other one.
All right. Nolan Arenado will be on another roster.
Oh, but like you think by the end of spring training he will already be on another roster?
He'll be on another roster.
Which roster? It's tough, right?
I'm not going to make that commitment yet. I'm just saying he's going to be on another roster because remember he's got no. It's not going to be. I'm just going to say he's going to be on another roster because remember he's got the no trade clause. There's only certain teams he can go to. So I'm going to hold off on a team as of now. I think I made a prediction back, a couple months ago. But yeah, at this point, it's just like he's going to be on another roster. It's just going to happen. Okay. He's going to be on another roster.
Okay. Is he going to be a Dodger?
Stop. Just stop. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Look, man.
I've had enough of Los Angeles, to be honest.
All right, I'll give you my other one, and I'll actually go back to your whole Dominguez thing. I think it's going to be one of two things, right? I think Dominguez is going to either have a horrible spring training, and people are already going to be saying this guy's a bust before the season starts, right? Or he's going to have a great, fantastic spring training where we're seeing those. He's a big boy. And he's going to be hitting some mammoth home runs. Down there, they're in Florida, right? Yeah, they're in Florida. Maybe he'll be doing that, and people are gonna be saying, "Oh my gosh, rookie of the year, it's coming! This is the year for Jason Dominguez." We're either gonna get one or the other. It's either gonna be he's had a great spring training and he's gonna be rookie of the year, or he had a horrible spring training and it's like, "Oh my gosh, this kid's a bust," even though he's only still 22 years old.
Okay, yeah, I think, and the Dominguez thing it's interesting because he's only 22. But people are so quick nowadays, right? To just write guys like that off because he's been talked about for so long. And, he's been in the league for 2 years already. Came up 2 years ago. Was back last year. Wasn't great last year. So that's something to watch. The Dominguez thing, that situation is going to be interesting because, what if he doesn't produce? Do the Yankees maybe think about if they need to make a move at the deadline? Do they move on from Jason Dominguez? That's something that I could see happening too. All right, we can get value here. If they need to get a big bat or another arm.
Probably another bat.
Yeah. Dominguez might be a guy on the chopping block if he's not producing, right? And maybe he needs a fresh, slate.
I don't know, though. I think the Yankees would hang on to him just because they look at the age and they look at, coming off the Tommy John surgery.
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's just if he doesn't produce, and he's batting a $179 again, it's like.
Right. He's supposed to be a leadoff hitter too, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Ooh. We'll see.
I don't know, man. Volpe's I like Volpe a lot, but I think at this point, I think people want to see Dominguez maybe make some leaps like Volpe has. Yep. All right. So so that you gave me two, right? You gave me two? Yep. All right. So I gave you two. You gave me two. Let us know what your predictions are. Maybe potentially what are people going to be talking about when spring training's over. Give us storylines here that we haven't even mentioned because there's a billion. There's obviously a gazillion that we haven't talked about. This, also with the best, worst, and underrated off seasons. Give us teams that we did not mention. All our stuff is down at the bottom here. The shift on Facebook, on Twitter, X, our Twitter /X handles, all that stuff. So we're going to end the show, Nick. And MLB Network put out their top 100 players very recently. Nick, I will start here. I think, honestly, I didn't have a huge problem with their top 10. I think they got it right, especially with the top 3, with it being Ohtani, Judge, and Witt. I think that's fairly good. And I think for the most part, their top 10 wasn't also bad. I probably wouldn't have put Lindor that high. I don't know. I think, Freeman's right. Gunner's probably a little higher. But overall, though, nothing was egregious. It wasn't an egregious list. I still like Mookie there at 5. I think Mookie just has to stay healthy. But I like the top 10. So where my problem lies, Nick, and then I'll just let you, say what you got to say. This is really all I got to say on the top 100. Is my issue is with 4 pitchers. Look, Tarek Skubal is a monster, and he's the future of, future of baseball as far as starting pitchers go. But settle down. Zach Wheeler, the resume that Zach Wheeler has, he should be over Tarek Skubal. 19 over 9. What Wheeler's at 19, Skubal's at 11. Resume matters. I don't know how everyone has their own systems, how they do things. I'm a big resume guy. I'm a big longevity resume combined with what you're doing right now. I think that all matters. Garrett Cole too. Like Garrett Cole was the best pitcher in baseball before he went down. Like,
Right.
okay, and he came back and still had a good year. Cole shouldn't be at 26. Like, I'd still put Cole and Wheeler over Skubal. I know Skubal just won the Cy Young. And it's like, oh my God, look at the Cy Young. Like, emotional. I get it. I get it. We're emotional right now, Nick. We just saw a Super Bowl win. You know what I'm saying? We're emotional. I get emotions. I get it. So that's my biggest problem. And my other biggest problem too, my other one was, and of course we always talk about the negative here when it comes to these things, but that's just how it goes. Emmanuel Clase is not just like having, and I know relief pitchers compared to starters and everyday players, I get it's different. Emmanuel Clase, like if it was Mariano Rivera, he would be in the top 10 or top 20. I'm sorry, he just would. Like, let's be honest. Emmanuel Clase is like, had an ERA under like 0.7 last year, 0.61. Has led the league in saves the last 3 years. His career ERA over the last 5 years is 1.67. ERA plus is 251 for his career. It's insane. He's having like an incredible run right now. I don't think it's fair to have Emmanuel Clase at 57 on the top 100. The guy has been unbelievable. Not and like try hitting that cutter. I would like to see you try. MLB Network. I'd like to see you try. Okay, try to hit that cutter. It's like Rivera, just like reincarnated, even though Rivera's still alive. You know what I'm saying? So like, resurrect Mariano Rivera, even though he's still alive, and now you have Emmanuel Clase. I think 57 is. I don't need him to be top 5 or top 10. I just think 57 is kind of egregious for one of the nastiest, the nastiest reliever in baseball. So that's what I got on the top 100. Nick, what do you got? What do you not like, or what?
Can I just tell you my favorite part of this top 100? Can I just tell you my favorite part? I'm gonna give me 1 sec. I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
Because it was just so awesome to see this. We know you're a Diamondbacks fan,
right? Huge,
and we know how much I love Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz was 1 spot ahead of Corbin Carroll. 1 spot ahead of Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, it's not fair. And Corbin Carroll's a better player.
Ellie De La Cruz was ranked number 100 last year, and he's now number 31 on this list.
Yeah, that was a
Corbin Carroll is 18, and he is 32 now. I agree with this wholeheartedly that Ellie De La Cruz should be ahead of Corbin Carroll because Ellie De La Cruz, he's going to be the top 15 soon. I mean, you might have to put him ahead of Paul Skeens at some point, and maybe even Gunnar at some point. Having Ellie in the top 35 made my day. I don't even care about the rest of the list. Don't even care. Yes, Ellie being number 31 made my day. It just makes me smile that he went up about like 70 spots. And he was well deserved too. Well deserved. I think maybe he should be in the top 25. Move up a little bit.
Hey, how about
take 31?
Ellie needs to learn more discipline on the base paths. All right, he needs to learn more discipline on the base paths. He needs more discipline at the plate before he can even touch the top 25. Okay, 31's a little high. 31's a little high.
I think it's a little low.
I had nothing else to say about this. Okay, until then, Clase A. I put Clase A above Ellie De La Cruz. Get the heck out of here.
Oh, it's great. It's awesome. That's something they really got right. They got that really. Let me pull it up. Can I just show you? I want to make sure the audience sees it and like just takes it in. So give me 1 second here. We're doing some producer stuff over here.
Producing things. It's 218 strikeouts last year. Caught stealing 16 times out of 83.
Look, he's ahead of Mike Trout. He's ahead of Bregman.
Fine.
He's ahead of Trey Turner.
Can't stay healthy.
Matt Olson. That's high praise for Ellie De La Cruz, and well deserved. Say the least.
It's embarrassing. This is all you have to say about the list. Is Ellie De La Cruz.
All I care about. It's all I care about is
Ellie. You should have made it the Ellie segment.
La Cruz being 31, moving up 69 spots.
Are you singing?
Him being number 31 is making me sing. That's how happy I am. This is the Super Bowl of lists right now.
Hey, yeah, by the way, Paul Skeens up a little too high.
I knew you.
Where's Skeens at? Skeens was 15, I believe, right? Yeah, he's 15.
Yeah, he's 15.
Yeah, he goes from no rank to 15th. Are you kidding me? Over Zach Wheeler, who's been the best pitcher in the National League since 2019. Oh, I guess we forget about resume. I guess we forget about all that. Who would you take right now, Zach Wheeler or Paul Skeens?
We'll answer that on the next episode.
Ah, he wants to tease it. That's how you know he picked Wheeler. Oh my gosh, have you seen Wheeler's playoff numbers? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, who knows? Maybe Paul Skeens a playoff choker. We don't know.
We don't know. Well, we may never know in Pittsburgh.
I would like to see them get to the playoffs just to see if
get there.
Yeah, they're just getting there. All right. Yeah, we'll see. Let's see if the Pirates want to spend money too. I don't know if they really do. All right. Well, I think we'll put a lid on this one because of your trash Ellie take. Jeez. Yeah, go play MLB The Show. Go frame the new cover.
Can't wait to have you over to my new man room and we'll play.
Yeah, so I'll still kick your ass and MLB The Show. I haven't played in 2 years, 3 years.
I haven't played in 2 years either.
Okay. All right. Perfect. It makes for a good matchup.
Fair.
Yeah. Whatever. Well, I hope your Valentine's Day was good, man. I hope you.
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
You made some new friends out of the parade. I know you have a new girlfriend from the parade.
That's true, but we'll let you run with that one.
Earnshaw on the prowl for love. That's what it is.
Not one bit.
Okay.
Not one bit.
I'm sorry. I ain't gonna make you too uncomfortable. All right, let's end the show. This has been episode number 78 of The Shift. Freddie Benson. I know he's doing his Freddie Benson thing. That means he wants me to wrap it up. So that's do it for The Shift. Another episode. We will talk to you guys very soon.